Hey Sugar, it's Naturally Keish here. I'm coming with another video. Just as a disclaimer, the views expressed on this channel are those of Naturally Keish. Be comfortable to leave your comments. Just be respectful when you do. That's all I ask. So let's get right into it. I wanted to address the Ray Rice domestic violence fiasco situation, hoopla, whatever. If you don't know, I'll put links to the articles in the description box. I'm not going to go back and talk about the whole incident. But what I will say is February 15th, Ray and his then fiance, now wife, got into a spat at a casino in New Jersey. I keep thinking New Orleans, New Jersey. There was a video released, I believe, in March, where you see Ray Rice dragging his fiance's body out of an elevator. She's lifeless. You don't know what happened because you're not on the elevator. Ray Rice was indicted for assault. So clearly something happened on the elevator. A fight of some sort is what we initially thought, I guess. That's what I thought. I did not know the extent of what happened, but I did know, based on what you see, I did not have a doubt in my mind that he beat her up on the elevator. Fast forward to September 7th. There was a second video, or another part to the video released, showing an obvious spat outside of the elevator, like in the casino lobby. And then you see the inside of the elevator. You see Ray Rice visibly hit his then fiance, now wife, and she falls to the floor of the elevator. I only watched it once. I did not dissect it. There are reports that she lunged forward. There's other reports that she hit her head on a railing. None of that can be confirmed by me. None of that is relevant to the way I feel. The opinion that I have didn't change from February to September. I believe back in February that he beat her up. The only thing that I know now is that it wasn't a beat up, it was one hit. But the facts in my mind are still the same. She was a victim of domestic violence on that elevator on February 15th. I don't doubt that. I don't dispute that. That didn't change in my mind. So now I want to talk about some facts. When this incident happened, there was not a policy in place by the NFL. So the ruling was a 2-game suspension, and he had to go to counseling for a year, I believe. And he pled not guilty, and he had to go to counseling, and he was suspended for 2 games. I believe that's the extent of his punishment. Once that punishment was given out, people were very, very disappointed, myself as well. I thought that was a very lenient punishment for domestic violence. It just was, it was lenient to me. But because nothing was in place, at least the league did something. This is not the first domestic violence case, and it's not the last. And we have documented a case after that. There's a case that came up after this case. So we know that that was not the last case. So there wasn't a policy in place. The NFL established, Roger Goodell, who is the commissioner of the NFL, came up with a policy. And the policy says that for first-time offenders, of those who, it says physical assault, I'm going to read it. But it says violation of the personal contact policy regarding assault, battery, domestic violence, and sexual assault that involve physical force will be subject to enhanced discipline. A first offense will be subject to a suspension of 6 weeks without pay. So this was instituted after the punishment was given to Ray Rice, because everyone thought that it was a very lenient punishment. So Roger Goodell came up with this conduct policy. Okay, so we're clear. First offense, 6 weeks suspension. Cool. Now this is Ray's first offense. He wasn't given 6 weeks. He was given 2 weeks because the policy didn't come into effect until after Ray's incident. Fast forward to September 7th. September 7th, TMZ released a video, and the Ravens cut Ray, and the NFL banned him. Now, was this the right decision? Perhaps. Was the timing off? Absolutely. Why wait 7 months to pass such a harsh judgment when you could have did this way back in the day? If you wanted to make an example out of someone, the perfect time was right when it happened. If you're going to, because of what happened, establish a policy and then not hold him accountable to that policy, I don't understand why you even establish a policy. It's just unfair the way he's being treated. And it has nothing to do with the fact of abuse, because that's not in question. That's not being condoned. My whole gripe is with the way the league and the organization handled it after the fact. It makes me believe that because we can see a video now where it gives us confirmation of what we already know, because we see it now, you want to take a stand. Whereas before, when you had already known, because the organization was already made aware of what happened, so you already knew, but you were willing to stand by Ray and his family. But now you want to throw him to the wolves. I think that's unfair due to what policies are in place. I also believe that it shouldn't have really gotten that far. I'm a believer in a little thing called street justice. And like I said, that's just me. You can't abuse my two sons. I have boys. You can't do nothing to my boys and float around la-dee-da like it's all peaches and cream. I'm not about that life. I'm just going to be honest. And I have boys. I don't have babies. I have a teenager and a grown son. And I still go hard in the paint. So personally, I think that part was handled. It shouldn't even have gotten that far. You put your hands on somebody, you get hands put on you. It's pretty simple when you do it that way. However, we're not living in my fairy tale world of street justice. We are living in a world where there are laws of the land or policies in place to govern how we act. So if you are going by the policies that you have instituted, then the incident happened way before you instituted this policy of 6-game suspension for a first offense. And the rest of it was a second offense, you get suspended indefinitely. So even if you want to go by your policy that you have in place, then why wasn't Ray suspended for 6 games? Why such a harsh punishment from no new information is my question. I guess I just don't understand that part. And then I'm having a little, y'all know I always scratch my nose on camera. I don't know what's going on. But then I also have, people are very funny. And I love a debate. I love to clown people. I love to watch people's opinion because it's funny. It's entertaining to me. But I had to log off all social media yesterday because people were just ridiculous. People were up in arms. And I'm not saying you should not be angry because what went down should not have gone down. But it happened in February. You didn't just find out about this in September. We found out about this in March, I believe. Even if we found out in May, like, why you still so mad all of a sudden? Now you pissed and you want to call everybody and tell him cancel everything. You're going to burn the jersey and going to sit down. Because if you were that upset, you would have still been equally as upset in February or March when we found out about it. So have several. You and your friends have several. Yeah, people take up cases, and not that you should not, but people are just funny. So people all mad. They pissed off because he knocked out his wife. Okay, but he knocked out his wife in March. Let's move forward. Now people are upset because his wife, first of all, his fiance became his wife. So people mad about that. About these grown folks' personal affairs. People mad. Then people are upset because the wife made a statement, and do I have a line? I think I highlighted a line of one of the things she said, but whatever. She was standing by her man basically, and people were pissed. It's like they were hot with her. So they were saying that, she doesn't understand. She's a victim of abuse. We have to pray for her. We have to rescue her and her baby. In September, she's been living with this abuser for 7 months. Why now? We got to rescue her now. We know he whipped her ass. I thought it was a lot worse, honestly. And when I saw the initial tape of him dragging her lifeless body out of the elevator, I thought it was a lot worse than what I saw on this video yesterday. So all of a sudden, y'all want to go rescue her. Have another couple hundred seats, please. She been with him for 7 months after it happened. Sit your ass down. I'm sorry, just don't. So that's one thing. So people are angry with her because she's sticking by him. If she didn't stick by him, people would be angry at her for not sticking by him. It's like a catch-22. You don't know what to do. You don't know how you should react to things. So just watching people's opinion, and everybody's entitled to one. Everybody has one. But it's just so draining. And it's like, why are we so judgmental? Like, why can't we agree to disagree? Why can't we just deal with facts? Why does it have to be such, why are we so emotional? If we remove the emotions from it, then maybe we can think logically and find out the root of the problem is they need to find some help. I don't give a damn if they were in the NFL, if they was Pookie and Keisha walking down the street that lived on Greenmount Avenue. If you see somebody and you clearly know, even if this was the first time, that's some crap that you don't see. You just knock somebody out in the elevator. For whatever reason, they need help. So if you remove all the other stuff and realize that these are two young folk that need help that we can't give them. You beefing about it on Twitter, and I'm censoring myself like a mug, but you beefing about it on Twitter is not helping or bringing awareness to the situation itself. That young lady and that young man needs to get help so that that baby girl does not grow up in a house of abuse. That should be what our focus is, not who's sticking by who did what, how many times he did it before, how they always effing each other up. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing. The fact remains that a situation happened between two people that, number one, should have never happened. Number two, they need to seek help for. They need guidance for. So that it does not spiral into something different or something worse. That is the fact that we should focus on. Well, of course, we can have our opinion, but it doesn't help anything. It doesn't help the cause. If you want to help someone, be an advocate for domestic violence or abuse or unjust laws. Everything, there's a fight to be had. This isn't the fight back and forth on social media. Is not the place to have this fight or this argument, and it's not beneficial. So I said that I would come and say a few words just because it was on my heart to say something about it. So I do not condone violence in any way. I do not condone violence, domestic violence. I do not condone getting a slap on the wrist for beating somebody's ass. I do, however, think that we should follow the law. If you create a policy, you should hold that person to that policy. If there is not a policy in place and you institute a punishment, that person should be held to that punishment until they do something different later down the line that proves otherwise. These two tapes were taken on the same day, February 15th. There is no new information. I don't think that he should have been judged as harshly so late in the game. So I call flag on the play for the NFL and the Baltimore Ravens as an organization. And I pray that they, as a couple, that they are able to heal from this. I pray that they get the help that they need, because even if there was never a history of abuse and there is never another act of abuse between them two, they have to deal with being crucified in the public for the rest of their lives. So I do pray that they get the help that they need to deal with that. And like I mentioned before, come for me in my comments if you want to. I will respond. I will not delete you. I will respond. So let's just keep it clean. We can agree to disagree. We can be respectful. It does nobody any good to have banter back and forth. Let's speak and dialogue with one another. And tell me how you feel. Tell me how you felt about it. If you have any resources that you'd like to list in the comment section, please do that. You know, we're open. It's not just about, you know, we're open. So if you have any resources or anything, just leave the information in the comment section. Leave your comments, make them clean. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.